President Trump's personal attorney, Michael Cohen, would agree to a deposition if a judge orders it. That's according to Cohen's attorney and spokesman David Schwartz. Stormy Daniels' lawyer filed a motion yesterday seeking to question Mr. Trump and Cohen under oath. He wants to ask them at about a $130,000 payment from Cohen to secure a non-disclosure agreement with Daniels.
Daniels claims she had sex with Mr. Trump in 2006 and argues the agreement is not valid. The White House has denied Daniels' allegations. An attorney for the president has not responded to our request for comment. David Schwartz is with us now. He is not representing Cohen in this specific case, but has been authorized by Cohen to speak in his defense. Good morning.
Good morning.
I've read much of what you've said. You acknowledge Michael Cohen is a quote-unquote fixer for Donald Trump. Is that right?
He's absolutely a fixer. That's what he's been all along. He's fixed all kinds of problems for Donald Trump over the years. In fact, he's the guy that you call at 3 in the morning when you have a problem. But it's not just for Donald Trump. It's for many people. If I had a problem, I would call Michael Cohen at 3 in the morning because I know he would do something about it.
So Stormy Daniels was the problem. So he fixed this on behalf of Donald Trump?
Stormy Daniels was a problem. Of course it's a problem when anyone makes salacious accusations that'll affect business, that'll affect reputation, and that'll affect someone's family. So when this was brought to Michael Cohen's attention, and it was brought to his attention, okay, a lawyer for Stormy Daniels called Michael Cohen up, and he told Michael Cohen that it would take $130,000 to solve the problem. And Michael Cohen entered into that deal.
It not only affected business, though, it could have affected the election. It occurred, this settlement occurred 11 days before the election. I know you say it's not a campaign expense, but it's a hell of a coincidence.
Yeah, Anthony, could have, would have, should have is not the standard of law in this case, okay? There's got to be proof, and there's got to be a lot of proof that somehow it was connected to the election, and there is no proof of that. And people enter into these agreements every single day.
Has Mr. Cohen handled other agreements like this for Mr. Trump?
Mr. Cohen has handled all types of things for Mr. Trump.
Other agreements like this?
And
has he handled other agreements like this?
I have no idea, but he's handled all types of items for Mr. Trump that would cause a business problem for the company, and Michael Cohen had great latitude to handle those problems.
But David, this is a problem that keeps tripping people up. Why would you pay why would Michael Cohen pay $130,000 for something that Donald Trump, he's still not said, I did not have sex with that woman. What happens at the White House is Sarah Sanders says that the White House says that this has never happened, but Donald Trump himself has never personally denied it. So, but still, why do you pay $130,000 for something that didn't happen?
I understand. It could be a school of thought that says that's illogical. But when you're in business,
is illogical.
Okay, but when you're in business and when you're a politician or you're a lawyer or you're a doctor and you're accused of something and you have a decision to make, do I avoid litigation? Do I avoid embarrassment? Can I have a non-disclosure agreement signed and go on with my life? Or am I going to enter into a messy litigation? I am going to have family problems. There's going to be accusations all over the place. It's actually a no-brainer to enter into a non-disclosure agreement and pay someone $130,000.
Out of your own personal pocket.
By the way, you guys call it hush money, right? I call it legal extortion because this happens every single day that people come around, they're looking for a payout. By the way, she really needed the money, okay? She was desperate for the money. She admitted on 60 Minutes she was shopping the story around everywhere. She shopped the story around, and then they went to Michael Cohen and say, hey, give us $130,000 and we can make this go away.
I'd like to get to the legal question here because you have said that Donald Trump knew nothing about this payment. Therefore, the suggestion is that that non-disclosure is not valid, that David Dennison, the alias for Donald Trump, never signed it. And as you know, Michael Avenatti says, therefore, that NDA is not valid.
There's no agreement in effect.
I was going to get the suggestions from Michael Avenatti, who has not come through on anything yet. He hasn't come through on his polygraph test. Those CDs that we saw in some safe, he hasn't come through on that. He hasn't come through with anything. The non-disclosure agreement is rock solid. It's an excellent non-disclosure agreement. It's a non-disclosure agreement between EC LLC, the LLC that was created by Michael Cohen, and Stormy Daniels. And the clause says and or. So even though there was a line for David Dennison, and or. So it could be and or the ECLC or David Dennison.
So you're saying
David,
it doesn't matter that David Dennison didn't sign. But listen, there is
He's
no
not a
love
party
lost.
to the agreement.
There is no love lost between you and Michael Avenatti, and this is not an open invitation to start whacking at him.
Right.
But how do you see the two of? How do you see this actually resolving itself?
Look, it's not my proudest moments when I know people are saying it's great TV, but these are not my proudest moments.
Great TV.
He called me a hack the other day, right? He called me a hack on your show. He must have been referring to my representation of New York City taxi cabs fighting against Uber.
Right.
That's how I took
there you
the
go.
ad.
There you go. David, how do you see this? But wait a second.
By the way,
how
I'm
do
not
you
going to
see
stoop to his level and call him names.
You guys have called each other names.
Yeah.
Well,
Can we? I want to talk about something here. You've said that the president was not aware of the agreement.
Right.
He was not aware of the money.
Right.
When did Mr. Cohen tell him about this, or did he tell him about it?
The president became aware of it much later on. All right.
How much later on?
I don't know. He
don't know?
Michael Cohen never told them about it. Okay, it didn't come out.
The president learned about it from somewhere else?
He learned about it when it came out.
Before the election?
Well, she violated the agreement right away, right? So she never had any intention of. So she stole the $130,000 basically, and then decided to shop the story around.
But you
so the rumors got around right away.
David, you do see that it defies logic, knowing for anybody who has worked with Donald Trump that he would not know about this, that he heard about it.
Michael
on the
Cohen's
news.
not anyone. Michael Cohen's not anyone. He's a very loyal, trusted person who had great latitude to be the fixer. And that's exactly what he was. He was the fixer.
And he took out a home equity loan in order to pay off Stormy Daniels?
Yeah, to get the money quickly.
Does that make sense to you that a lawyer would take out a home equity loan of his own person?
In a vacuum?
Does that make sense to you?
In a vacuum, no. Would I do that? No. For an outside client, it's a different, you have to understand, it's a different relationship between these two people. That's what I'm trying. It's not a lawyer-client relationship. And by the way, he wasn't acting for David Dennison. He was acting for
You realize there are tax
ECLC.
implications for doing
Legally,
that.
he was.
Yes.
There are tax
What are the tax implications? For Stormy, she received the money, right?
No,
So
that's not what she's talking about. Does Donald Trump need a lot? Does Donald Trump need a lot of fixing? Does he need a lot of things fixed?
I think anyone in the line of fire with a high profile needs fixing. I think it's very clear.
Anyone running for election needs fixing too.
Look, this is a slippery slope. So any business transaction that takes place while anyone's running for election, whether it's Congress, U.S. Senate, you're going to analyze every single transaction. That's a slippery slope to say, oh, that must be a campaign contribution. That is guesswork, that's speculation, and that really should have no place in federal election law.
Stormy Daniels has filed a defamation suit against Michael Cohen because he called her a liar. How does he?
Whoa. Is that the statement? Did he call her a liar? And you see, it's another Avenatti.
Okay,
look,
then he
I give the guy,
all right,
I give the guy a lot of credit. He puts these thoughts in people's minds. If you look at the statement, he said whether or not something is true or not true, it could still affect a person, and I will do anything in my power to protect Donald Trump. That was the statement. So when you're doing a defamation case, and I'm bringing a defamation case on behalf of Michael Cohen against BuzzFeed. So when you're doing a defamation case, you got to analyze the statement, and you got to ask yourself, the key element, is the statement false? So how is that statement false? That case is going to be dismissed right away, right on the face of it.
We are out of time, David. Thank you so much.
I wish we had more time. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks, David.
Yes. Come back and see us.
I will.
Because this story is not going away. Thank you, David Schwartz.
You got it.
Thank you very much.